for 3 days, whatever they charge by the day.
You can come up with the process of that, or Lori, what we did before, and then we can announce at the meeting and we'll put something in the paper.
I'll find out for sure tomorrow.
Actually, Dave, I have a meeting this week with Spark John Shipman and PennDOT over the sign that they wanted to put up, and I'll address it then for you.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good project, and I guess it's been 10 years since it was done, or
It's been a while.
7, what do you think?
I think it was maybe 3 years ago at most, the
Yeah.
last time it was done.
But it seems like a lot of big trees bit the dust lately. I mean, there's tons of stumps, so. Anyway, I just thought it was a good project.
Thank you.
Bring it up.
Anybody else? Yes, sir. Maine.
And Marshall, back again, I was here a month ago about the trees up on the 400 block of H Street. I've got a picture here of a pretty large pile of branches, debris, garbage, stuff that I cleaned up over the weekend. And I called down and spoke to Linda today in the code office and had somebody from streets come up and clean it up, but what's going on? Because like
Well, here's where we
Mr.
are.
Reitner said to him, you know, I've been complaining, going down to the code office and complaining about these trees for over
No.
2 years. So what's gonna happen in another month if a tree falls down on my house? I don't want it to come to that. I bought a house in Sunbury, I'm doing the best I can, I'm cleaning up around my property. You go up and look by the guardrail when you go home tonight, that's all clean. I did all that over the weekend.
Before you get here, I drove by there, she did it sometime last week, over the weekend. It's one piece of a branch. And I believe you might have cleaned your front yard out with the weeds and stuff off your bank there. And that's normally stuff that we ask you to take down to the.
No, 90% of that pile, I have a picture right here.
Well, I know what the
90%
picture
of
is.
that
Right,
pile,
I live up there.
90% of that pile was from across the street. That stuff is all overgrown. Only about 10% of that pile came from my property. 90% of that came from across the street. Go and speak to Linda in the code office. I've been going in there for over 2 years complaining about these trees. And I have other things to do than to clean up these trees. I even spoke with Tim Moyer, or Tom Moyer, whoever lives down on 7th Street, the greenhouse directly in front of me. I saw where his land ends, and his property's marked that he owns 150 feet, and his stone wall is up to 152 feet.
I don't understand, is the complaint that the leaves are falling on your
That
property?
these trees are being not trimmed and taken care of. Every time there's a small storm,
I don't trim my trees in my backyard. If a leaf falls in the neighbor's yard, I don't understand what you're trying to get accomplished there.
like last year when there was a storm, I had a 10-foot branch laying on my power line.
Well, in the city of Sunbury, we have that, everybody has it, but
But they're
You
sitting
want the
on
trees
trees.
cut
The
down?
code office can go and complain and cite people for negligence on their property, but what about these trees that are city-owned? That have never been trimmed
those
or
trees,
cut back?
why would they be city owned?
Because you guys own them, they're not, they don't belong to me, they don't belong to the 7th Street people.
I'm just waiting for a chance to talk, that's all.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I see the pile.
We've been at the courthouse. The right-of-way goes from 15 feet at Reagan and 8 to 30 feet at the other end. Okay, or however it is, all right, or from one end to the other. Okay, and the 30 feet's up at that end. So technically, they're city trees. We approached PP&L about taking them down because there's power lines through there. And nobody, we tried different places, they won't touch it with the power lines. PP&L, the gentleman's name from Lloyd? We're trying to get him to come over and look at them and make a decision on this. But we talked to 2 or 3 different trimmers and they won't touch those trees with the power line. They don't have a problem taking them down, and it is a city obligation because it's not on that gentleman's property.
Exactly.
We just found that out Friday at the courthouse. I had a guy over there half a day on Friday, and he came back and he has everything set up, what it is.
Yeah, so my question is, when's something gonna get done?
When we can find somebody that'll go up in that lines, if it has to be PP&L or what, I don't know, but that power has to be disconnected or shut off for that tree to be trimmed at this point in
I
time.
get that.
Well,
I do
just
get that, but it's just,
Terry, I give you.
they keep growing, they're not gonna go away.
No, they come down, and
Never
he
mind.
said something about, and that's what we're trying to get to resolve the truth. Get him over there and let him see what's going on.
Because they came down to kind of, the trees were all down because he couldn't get in.
Well, if you've seen it, Rick, it's just a big long grant, and as long as they just knock it off, we're good.
Problem is, the house.
Right.
So the answer is, we're trying to get something cooperative with PPL. Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Hi, Greg
Need your name.
Oyster.
I'm sorry?
Greg Oyster.
Okay.
I had mentioned last month about a possible amendment to the noise ordinance. I have examples of 3 other cities if you
Yep, turn them into us.
can understand them.
Yep.
Just the highlighted verbiage, that's all. I would like added.
All right, we'll look at that. Anybody else?
I have
You
one
want to
more.
make a, yes,
Jim, on the Chester Street project, how many bids did we actually get
4.
for?
There were
Okay.
11 contractors picked up and paid, and only 4 turned back in.
Okay, all right, thanks.
We would like that more, but you know
Yeah,
how it is, you've been around it.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you want a copy of all those, I'll get you a copy of all of them.
And down to city clerks or after the meeting, or?
Joe, I think I got
I'll give you
something.
one right now.
We have one here somewhere.
Let's finish up, I'll get it for you.
Okay, yep.
We can have the next one here, Jim. Well, I want to announce the citywide cleanup, city residents only. May 1st through the 6th, 7:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Normal transfer station hours, so nothing special about that. But again, city residents only, I guess you have to approve that when you drive.
Yes, you should, and because all the confusion comes is like you live out in Hamilton, it technically says RD6 Sunbury, PA. So it had, must say a Sunbury Street, that license that matched the driver, or whoever's in that vehicle.
I do have 2 updates I want to give you, one being that from the police department, Sergeant Blaze, who was off duty recuperating from on-the-job injuries, was just about ready to come back to work. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but he messed his knee up even more back at home, shoveling some snow or working in his garage, or I don't know what it is. So he's pretty much not going to be a police officer anymore. We're not sure how that's going to settle out, because again, he was ready to come back to work and get it off. It had nothing to do with the job. So, but anyway, right now there'll be another officer we're going to replace down the road here. And I also wanted to mention I went to a meeting last week with. There's a Lake Augusta development plan that's been in place since the early 2000s. And that's how, some of the riverfront project was involved in that. But as you're all aware of, the sidewalks that we've had on Front Street got as far as Reagan Street. We've always planned to finish the rest of that. So what Cedar Hall did at the meeting was decided they wanted everybody from Shamokin Dam to Point Township to Northumberland to us, to everybody, to see where they're at with their plans, because you have to picture that lake now as things being done completely around that on both sides of it. And so what they're doing is people have like phase 2's parts of whatever was done before. Some people had, of course, had nothing done. But they're going to put that together and go back to the state legislature to see if they can get that funding revised. So I asked Jim to look into who did that for us back in 9 or 5, or well, I'm not exactly sure right now. I should have it in front of me, but I don't. So anyway, the goal being that we want to get that, add to that master site plan. There is a master site plan for our side of the river, but we need to get that phase 2, which would take it up there. So the goal would be how fast can we get, or what would it cost us, or what do we need to go out for bids, how fast we put that together to get our phase 2, which would complete it, which would give us sidewalks and lighting from one end of the city to the other. The goal being that you could start at one end and walk and end up getting hooked with the marina and walk around the marina. It's a bike to pedestrian, I guess is what they officially call the project. So anyway, we're involved in that because what we did in the riverfront, we want to try to extend that. We want to be part of that presentation when they go to legislation to get that funding. So we'll give you more updates as that comes about. That's all I have. I want to thank everybody for coming. Meeting's adjourned.